So I am currently with my boy Austin Kost. Super pumped to
How you doing?
back home in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Austin is 23. 23 turning.
Yep, no, 24 next June. So
24 June. So Austin came off hot on baseball and business. What was it on the business? What was the specific on the degree? What was it?
No, well, it was advertising and economics.
Advertising and economics. And then at SDSU, and also baseball. And then pitching in baseball.
Yep.
And so Austin had a lot of that awesome like teamwork and hustle with like going to the weight room and working out and learning how to play a sport. You know, sports are huge for personal development and everything. Now, so Austin and his brother Chandler and I go back hella, and for sure, so far back, and so much fun shit besides, you know, hanging out and playing sports, and also gaming, lots of gaming, which so many cognitive benefits to
I don't think so. You and Chandler were more the gamers.
More on the gaming, but which is obviously visible in the cognitive benefits. So Austin is now working at State Farm, which is an insurance company here. They sell life insurance, auto insurance, home insurance, and he's trying to break through as an entrepreneur into some sort of a field, and he's making a big move out of Sioux Falls and into Phoenix in September. That's his aim right now, September 2019. And he has a homeboy. His homeboy's name's Dylan. He's going there with Dylan. And he and Dylan, so Austin's now teaching me about what he and Dylan are strategizing to do, and we're breaking down how Austin's just gotta, you know, just like I'm doing right now in San Francisco, eat shit for 5 years, grind, be patient, heads down, no beer gardens and Netflix, just fucking grinding and hustling and building the business and building sustainability so you can hockey stick up in your 30s and 40s and do whatever you want and help your family out, all the good stuff. So, all right, so tell us about what you and Dylan are looking to do in Phoenix when you guys get out there.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll just kind of try to backtrack a little bit.
Let's do it, yeah.
Just because, so really, you know, growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and then it really all changed. I always tell everyone this, sophomore year, spring of my sophomore year, my dad, he said he'd give me money to put in the stock market, and that was like this, like the switch that just clicked, and then like I started like reading about investing, and then I started, that's really when I was like, okay, you know, you can't just have a job, like you're not getting to where you want to get if you're just trading your time. And so, and then this is the summer that I came out to California, because me and my buddy Ethan, we both played baseball, and then they had us go out to San Francisco to play baseball, and went out there. We had some nice conversations out there, and then we started trading the stock market, and I got really big into that. Came back, started trying to day trade penny stocks, and quickly realized, you know, not that that's not possible. I just didn't put enough time. Yada yada yada. Switched to real estate investing, and just not more broadly than that, just how to get out of the rat race. Everyone says that, but
sure.
And I just wanted to figure out a way. So fast forward, didn't make that happen. Coming out of college, I didn't want to have a job, but didn't make it happen. Didn't work hard enough. No one to blame on myself, so I started working at State Farm.
That's right. That's a huge point right there for everyone. Just take the blame on yourself, not on other external factors.
You can't. I tried to blame things like I didn't have enough time. I was playing baseball. It's like, no, it's not. I slept too much, probably, whatever.
I could have made it happen.
I could have made it happen. Yeah. So I started working at State Farm. It was, you know, the one thing I will say is that I'm appreciative of State Farm because I work for a really big, you know, a good agent. And he has State Farm, but he does a lot of other things. Very good business guy, so I learned a lot from him. But I hit my year mark in August, and then I met Dylan. He started working there in last June, and we started. I mentioned business to him, and then right away I could just tell, because you know, like sometimes you meet somebody and like they're just not about it. Like you can't have these type of conversations because it's like you're speaking a different language to them. It's like okay, I guess I'm not going to talk to you.
It's almost like a 9-to-5 versus an entrepreneur.
Literally, it's that cut and dry. So we started talking. We're like, okay. And I went to visit Phoenix in August, and I came back, and I was kind of, not going to lie, I was kind of depressed. I was just like, gosh, like, really like I love to golf, things like that. So then I started talking to Dylan, and he was like, dude, I've been waiting for somebody to move to Phoenix. My aunt lives there. I've been waiting for someone. Long story short, we decided we're going to move next September. And then
those are those little synchronicities that the universe can kind of like plug into your life to kind of give you that push. But you got to be willing to watch what the universe is trying to give you with those little presents, those little pushes. Like Dylan was a little push, and then you're that little push that pushes Dylan. So you kind of let each other's fires under each other's butts, and now you got to go to the next step. So you got to keep going.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Because I never would have moved if I had no one to move with. And then it shifted from we started talking. I remember on the golf course, and we were talking about like, oh, let's start looking for jobs, you know, see what kind of jobs we get. And then I was like, dude, screw that. We have a year now. Let's find a way to when we get down to Phoenix, we don't have to go get another job, because then we're at square one. We're in a better location, but we're still back at square one.
Yeah.
So we decided this is a little bit different than what, you know, Alan does, because first of all, we always talk about.
Technically, that'd be square two, by the way. Because square one was
Okay,
here.
you're right,
Square
you're
two
right.
would be getting
Okay.
a 9-to-5 there. So if you have to, that's fine. And to start up your entrepreneurial side hustle as you go. Anyway, continue.
You're right. Yeah, you are right. But it's just 9 to 5. It's
Stepping stones,
it's
yes.
mind.
It's
mind numbing. So I was like, okay, what's the most practical way to do this? And I've always been into real estate. I got around with property, love investing, finance, things like that. And I was like, okay, that's going to take too long to just start acquiring rental properties, financing. I quickly realized that that's more of like a 10-year down the road thing. So I was like, all right, how do I get enough money now? How do I start a business now so that I can get out of this, so that when I'm in Phoenix, then I'm already doing what I'm trying to do, and then just build from there. So what I'm doing, and I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called wholesaling real estate, where basically we do a lot of marketing and find deeply discounted homes, where I'll give you an example. Somebody, they're 3 months from pre-foreclosure. They have a $150,000 house. They either go into bankruptcy or they sell their house. So then you can get really cheap. Cheap real estate. And what you do is, because I don't want to flip homes. It's just too much work, and then it's too much work. So what I'm doing is basically you go to this guy. The biggest thing is marketing, though. It's like finding these deals. So if you find a deal, you go to them and say.
So someone is foreclosing on their home. They're unable to pay the mortgage on their house, and then the bank is saying, okay, great, so now we are going to take the property because we are the ones that financed it in the first place. So then they take the property as the collateral, and then what the person's doing is they're moving out of the home, and then the bank now owns the home. And the bank wants to sell the house to someone at a good price.
But once the bank has, you can't do this. So you got to basically.
Oh, you got to jump in before the bank.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
And so the thing is, it's not just pre-foreclosure. It's just finding motivated sellers. It could be they inherited a property and they need cash, or they're back on their taxes, tax delinquent, or
so there's so many different options.
Or they live in Florida and they have a house in Sioux Falls. So basically, so you're finding people I'm working on a deal right now where somebody, it's a duplex in Lenox. And he wants to move to Wisconsin, but he needs to get rid of this debt, and until he gets rid of the debt, he can't do this other business venture he's trying to do in Wisconsin. So we're working on things. So it's just finding motivation, and what you do. Yes. So what you're doing is, you and the seller, you sign a purchase agreement with those two guys, and then what you can do is then you have like your investors, cash buyers, who have already told you like send me the deals you have. So you sign the purchase agreement. Say for $70,000 on a $150,000 house. Say you sign up for $70,000, then you go to your cash buyer, send them the deal, and say they want to buy for $90,000. Then you sign an assignment of that purchase agreement, assignment of contract between them for $90,000. You send both documents to the title company. The cash buyer, they send $90,000 to the title company. $70,000 goes to the seller. $20,000 goes to me for finding the deal. So, and this is kind of a new thing. It's a kind of a niche thing. Okay,
run this again one more time. Run this whole gamut one more
time.
Oh,
you want like an example deal, like how?
Yeah. So this deal in Lenox. Let's go for this deal in Lenox.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a duplex that this guy wants to move to Wisconsin and start a business.
He wants to, yeah.
Yeah, and he has a debt, and he wants to get rid of the property so that he can move and start a business in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay, and so then how much is this duplex
Yeah, so...
on the market for, and then how do you get it at a rate that's even better, and yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, first of all, you're finding off-market deals, and I'm kind of new, so it's like usually you're cold calling a big list, you get a list, but basically we put out an ad on Facebook, and this guy just commented, wish I could sell my house. I'm like, what? Okay, so he hit him out, went and visited him, and it's a pretty big duplex, but here's the deal. So I've
Why does he not want to do a conventional route of getting an agent to sell his place?
Because then, then he has to get it ready to start showing to people, pay the real estate commission, and really that's the difference between me and an agent is that if they want to get rid of it as soon as possible, I can close in a few weeks. And
what do you mean you can close in a few weeks?
Yeah, so basically
you're matching a buyer with
a seller, and these are all cash buyers because the biggest part of doing a
these are cash buyers.
Real estate deal is like the financing takes, to get a loan, mortgage, that could take up to a month. So what
Oh, sure.
But also
that's a difference. Okay.
Yeah,
but do you need a license of sorts in order to No,
my parents thought it was illegal, but it's not.
Oh, interesting. So you just basically match a cash buyer
with a motivated seller,
and then you just get a commission.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and why would that be illegal? That would be lame.
Yeah. I know.
That'd be lame.
I know. Real estate agents hate these people. Hate wholesalers though, because there's competition. But I will say, 95% of all transactions are going to be through a realtor. 5% of people don't want to deal with a realtor. So we're basically trying to find the 5%.
Because he doesn't want to get his house all like prepared and ready for having people come and tour it and visit it. Is your rate less than a realtor?
Yeah, literally we tell them like, hey, if you want top dollar, go to a realtor. We're not going to give you top dollar, but what we can provide you is you don't have to pay closing costs. We can close within a month. We can take all this shit that you have in your house. You don't have to deal with it. And like I said,
oh, interesting. They don't have to lug the shit. They don't have to pay closing costs. You can get it done in a month.
And they can be out of the situation. So basically,
and you'll get them a cash buyer.
Yeah.
And so a realtor doesn't necessarily get they do get a cash buyer because even if they get a mortgage or if they get a loan,
can be a cash.
Yeah.
And it's not even just cash buyer. It's like if somebody has very easy access to a credit line,
Sure.
It's just quick financing.
Yeah, quick financing. Okay.
But so like this deal, it's interesting because I've talked to multiple realtors and I was like, hey, how much do you think it sells for? They all say like 120, 125, 110 worst. But the problem is that the only thing that might need a new roof, but that's kind of irrelevant. Basically, this is his situation because what we're doing is we're problem solvers. If somebody needs to get out of their house, we come in to help them get out of their house. And so this guy, he has $55,000 left on his mortgage, but he has $25,000 on a credit card from putting into the house. So he goes, the only way I can go to Wisconsin and move on from this place is if I can get all that debt cleared. So he said, if you can give me $80,000,
he's
$80K, and then we'll do a deal.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do that, because then what I'd probably do is sign it for $80 and then pitch it to my cash buyers for like $100, because I've talked to like 3 or 4 realtors, all say 125, and like a house half the size, a block down, just sold for like 120.
Yeah.
So that would be, and that'd be my first time. I'm working on another one too, but basically,
if you can get him 80, you can take 20. Plus, there's you'll have to move the shit out and all this other kind of stuff, and so maybe you'll take 10 or something away from.
Yeah, and see, the cash buyer does all that. So all I would do is if somebody agrees to 100, I just send the 2 contracts to the title company. I don't even have to go to the closing, and then they just send me the check for my finder's fee.
Gotcha.
And so the cash buyer does all that shit. So
who's the middleman that you send the title to, that goes into escrow, the title and the money, and does the transfer, and you get the fee? Who does that? How's that online work?
I'm the middleman, but I send it to a title company who does all of that. And that's
who is the title?
Getty Abstract Title.
Oh, Getty Abstract Title.
And it's interesting though, because I called all there's like 5 in Sioux Falls, and like 4 of them didn't even know what this was. They literally were like,
That's
yeah, that's illegal. A lawyer said this is illegal. Yeah. And so I was like, the one company said they can do it, and but they said I have to talk to the president of the title company because he deals with like the complex closings. So we had like an hour-long conversation. He's like, yeah, you can do this, like, but if you get these 2 contracts, make sure when you bring them into our office, tell the secretary like to give them to me so I can make sure
everything's kosher.
Yeah,
that's cool. Okay.
So this is
a general. So this is 5% of all real estate deals are going through something like this. Wholesaling real estate.
And I'll give you a good example. Basically, so Apple's at $150 a share right now. If you could buy it right now for $70 a share, you would obviously do that because then you can resell it for what it's worth. So basically, you're just getting properties at a big discount. And it's not like I don't want to do this for my whole life. Yeah. I want to get into like managing capital and then like more progressive things like what you do a lot. But I'm just trying to be practical so that I can get out of this job and not be completely financially stressed. That's the bottom line.
And then you want to do a couple of these wholesale real estate projects in Sioux Falls metro area, in South Dakota.
Yeah, and then just move to Phoenix. Okay. And then just keep doing it in Phoenix.
Gotcha. And keep doing that in Phoenix for a bit. And hopefully you can launch yourself off with enough cash to where you can focus on that full time in Phoenix for a couple of years, and
you can delegate this pretty easily too. You can just have
for people that are looking for the deals, and
you can have like you can hire a cold caller, somebody to go on the meetings, and then you just give them a percentage. So it's very easy to automate, and that'd be the ultimate thing. Keep the business, but then I don't want to have to be putting in 60 hours a week too. Eventually it gets to a point where you gotta move on.
Well, also because you'll launch yourself off with finding the wholesale real estate deals that you want when you get to Phoenix, and then you'll also be able to portion a chunk of your time for your next endeavor, and that way you'll get to go from square 2 to 3 to 4 and keep going in the direction you want to go. Okay, now. So besides that deal that you have that you're looking at in Lennox, you have to basically find like 5, 10, 15 of these because you gotta go law of averages. You gotta go 100 of these.
It's numbers game.
Numbers game. Yeah, keep going. You gotta find one of these a day.
You gotta find a lead a day basically.
Yeah.
It gets to that point.
Yeah.
And I got another one. I got 2 from Facebook. But yeah, that's what it is. You do a lot of marketing. You can do Facebook marketing, pay-per-click on Google. I have a website where I'm trying to get it to where when you search sell your house for, like, sell my house fast, Sioux Falls, or sell my house, and I'm on the first page, and you click on it, and then they put in their information on the website, and then I get an email, I get a lead. But the biggest thing is you can pull, like I have a software where I can pull all houses that are more than 2 years tax delinquent, and the owners don't live at the address, and then it's 500. I just looked at it, but then I work 9 to 6, so I can't call all those people. So I'm trying to find somebody that can just call them for me, which I have.
You can make the calls on lunch.
Which that's what me and Dylan. Me and Dylan literally go to lunch together. We're like, all right, let's try to make 10 calls each.
Yeah.
So I do agree. Yeah.
That's hustle.
I know. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, your day off work, call.
Your
whole day off work, 9 to 6, call all 100 leads that have stacked up. Take a day off of work just to work on your other project.
Yeah. But really, I mean, it comes down to the same thing. What you just gotta find something that you can do to where you're living life on your own terms. And everyone says that, but like I've realized how true it is, because I've been working a full-time job for a year and a half, and it just eats at me. And I complain all the time, and I don't even know I should be complaining. It's like more just like, this is what it is.
Some people
get out of it. Get out of it.
Some people love it. Yeah, it's good. You're firing yourself to find something else. It's good that you're feeling this raw spirit moving you towards something else. So what else should this is good. Some wholesale real estate convo you and that what you and Dylan are pursuing here. Maybe it would be interesting to mention what you're using, you said you have software that you're using to find tax delinquent properties, and so what else are you doing to automate the inbound leads? You're trying to show up high on SEO rankings.
Oh, like what, to automate it, you mean?
Yeah, because you got to increase your efficiency right now. Yeah.
See, and I think that's a step that we're not even at yet. I think we need to be getting the deals. Like, we're putting in the man hours, we're calling the people, getting the deals, and then once
your first deal,
one deal. Like, literally, they all say one deal will change your life, because then you have validation.
You have validation
that it's gonna work.
That it's gonna work. Yeah.
So like, but
get
then
the first one in. Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, once you want to start getting five deals a month, then basically what you need to hire a cold caller, hire somebody to pull the list for you, and then you need to have a good website to where you can get leads from just people searching on Google. Those are the best leads because they're literally searching because they need to fucking sell.
They need it. So, but you are not putting all of your eggs in the Lennox duplex basket. So you're diversifying your eggs, putting them in the other wholesale real estate options. So you got to find those other wholesale real estate options that are really, you got to really go hard on that in the next month. To start off the year, go really hard on that.
Just get that fucking one deal.
Get that one deal. Get that validation. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this is another deal we got lucky on Facebook too. But yeah, it's more being efficient on your time though. Because I mean, we always say, like, me and my Dylan, like, we're just like, and there's another guy too, we work with his name's Josh, but mostly me and Dylan for now. We always say, like, God, if we could just do this all day. It's like, yeah, but we're not doing, we can't do it all day. So like, I always say winners adjust. Winners adjust to the circumstances. But I mean, yeah, it's just it's a pretty straightforward business plan, but it's not easy. Like, it's straightforward what you need to do.
Yeah.
Get the list, call them, go on appointments, close deals.
Yeah.
But it's not that easy. It's simple, not easy. But, but like I said, like,
next month is all about getting the one to break through, getting the one to close, getting the validation. That's the next month, and it's good that you got someone. You said Getty Abstract Title.
But this is another thing though. What I'll say is that because me and you, we have great conversations just about like things, like more progressive things, and I want to get into some of that stuff too. But we always argue about this. We always argue about like you always wanted me to just say fuck it and just move to California.
Yeah, I do.
And I was always the guy that was like, I need to get finance. I need some sort of cushion first. So we always do that.
I was always pulling Austin to come out there
Dude,
and live in like an SRO, the most janky ass place, just so that he could launch off to start connecting to the different powerful high level people out there, and that would slowly inch you forward into what you want to do and whatnot. But also, it wouldn't have been, I don't think, as ideal of an environment for like wholesale real estate.
Fact. But you can do this anywhere. I mean, I'm living in Phoenix. I just have workers that live in Sioux Falls. So. But obviously, I always think way too big picture, which honestly is kind of a bad thing sometimes. Instead of like focusing on what I need to do now, like I want to be a venture capitalist.
Well, so there's a good way to view it. It's the what needs to happen in the short term while you have this massive vision in the long term, and then you're basically meeting these two as you build, and then you have it all laid out.
Gary Vee always says that. What is it? Long-term patience, short-term what?
Yeah.
Short-term
hustle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is really so true. That's really all it is. You gotta have the big vision, but then you gotta get the daily tasks.
Exactly. Yeah. The one thing, the Ben Gertzel, what we talked about with him, was meeting those two as well.
But technology screws us.
Well,
if you let it.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Like,
makes it hard.
We always talk about this. No notifications. Volume always off. All of the apps are no notifications across all of the devices, laptop, cell phone, all the devices. So that way you're using your devices as a one-way communication method outbound when you need, and you're not getting bing, bing, bing pulled into notifications. Highly recommend that for you, and for people viewing. Turn off the notifications as soon as possible. All of them off.
Isn't it crazy how like you can just get literally locked in your...
Changes
You're probably
your
better.
life.
It's probably better at the...
Changes
like, I'm
your
terrible
life.
at it.
It's a great New Year's resolution is to turn off your notifications for all of 2019. It will save your time like no other. It'll keep you focused. Anything else that we should mention?
I don't know. I would say for anyone who's... I mean, I feel like most people that would watch you or already have this mindset, but I just... You got to get in the right mindset of just not trading your time. And if there's a book I would recommend, I would say this: read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know if you.
Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad's lit. Yeah.
Did you? I was hoping you read it. It's gonna change your life completely. I bought it for my cousin because I was like, I wasn't feeling his mindset, so I was like, we're gonna need to try to change that. But that's all I would say.
Yeah.
If you wanna. Oh, also last thing.
Yeah.
I would say, figure out how you want your life to look like. And then figure out how to make that happen.
That's right.
Because I figured out what I want it to look like, how to make it happen.
Yeah. And you got to see it to be it.
Yeah.
And like we said, you have that really high level vision of what you want to become, and you got these short term action items, the steps that you got to take to keep getting to the next pad and box, keep going. And those two things meet. And again, efficiency with time, effectiveness with time. We're sitting in front of Austin's computer station right now.
50 different tabs
open, and I'm sure on your phone you have all your notifications on across your apps, and you get a Twitter notification. All of a sudden, you're browsing through Twitter, and you were in the middle of working, and
it's terrible.
So actually logging all of your leads into a customer relationship management platform and having that shared with Dylan and having you guys find 30 of those in January, so that way you can close one by the end of the month. That's the way to hustle it through. And it's harder with the 9 to 5, especially when you also have to do all of your calls during that window. That makes it hard. But you can do the lead finding from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. And then you can call them from like potentially even like 7:30 or 8 a.m. until maybe 8:30 or something. Do some calls then. And then do some calls at lunch. And then potentially try and get, a couple calls in right at the end of your shift, potentially. Do your best to, take a day off as best as you can. And
I know, right? Like,
there's so many,
reason to
So that's it. Calling the weekends if possible,
And once you're out of that job, then it's like, then it's all you. And it's like, what are you going to do? You're swimming on your own.
Well, and then the next thing is when you're swimming on your own, you get so many people that get pulled into Netflix and beer gardens and chilling. And,
I know.
They get pulled again. So, even though most people do the Netflix beer gardens from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. every day after their 9 to 5, even when you get to your next lily pad of your entrepreneurship, you will still get pulled into distractive mindsets, as do I. Totally not perfect, always growing, always learning, and I swear it still happens to me all the time, and I'm always aiming to catch myself as fast as possible and move on to actually executing as quickly as possible. Get that shit done in January. 30 of those suckers. Close one.
Close one deal.
Get it done. That's good.
That's good stuff. But
good stuff. This is been a solid.
Me and you always have these good conversations.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Austin launching off from this. I was talking to your mom upstairs for a bit, and your mom was like, "I'm surprised he hasn't left yet." Sioux Falls and stuff. Yeah, he's the one. He's your one that's gonna fly out there and get shit done. Like I got. I felt that from you, and so I'm excited to see it happen. All right, we'll check back up on Austin soon. We'll have an update.
We'll get a little update ski.
Update ski. All right, much love, everyone. Let us know some of your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below on what you're building into the world and how you're executing your dreams. And don't forget, manifest that destiny, sacrifice it all, hustle, grind, head down, go and build it so you can hockey stick up and be free as a bird in the future. Much love.
Talk
to you.
See ya.